Hi, YouTube. So, this is Lexi. First of all, I want to wish everyone a happy and prosperous new year. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't necessarily believe in the new year itself. And what I mean by that is, I don't believe that you reset on January 1st. I have come to a belief, and this is, I don't even want to say recently, it's probably been a couple of years in the making. Every day that you wake up, you have the ability to change. You have the ability to make a choice to do something different with your life. You have the ability to do something different with your mindset and your being. And I really wanted to go ahead and just put that out there. But for everyone who does believe in the new year and starting off things fresh on January 1st, Happy New Year. Um, I wanted to talk about a couple of things, and I'm going to be very honest with you. While I was working on my other platforms and diving into everything like that, I decided to make this. And it wasn't until, because I had been thinking about it for the past few hours, and I'm sorry that I'm searching for the words. This should tell you how honest and open and earnest this is going to be. First and foremost, if anyone pops up into the live stream, meaning you pop into the chat, you do any of that stuff, I'm not going to say your name. That is a commitment I made a few months ago, and I'm going to stand by that. And as I go deeper into this conversation, you're going to understand why. I titled this The Trump Effect because I actually have my headphones on. Anybody who has known me since I first started making videos, you know what the headphones mean. I've been doing research, all of those great things. But I was listening to something out of all of the crap that's been happening. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I don't know. I know. Not because I was getting, you know, live alerts, because I'm not. When I told you all that I was not subscribed to that anymore, I was not subscribed to that. That being that type of sector. I don't even like the word sector, it's divisionary. But being subscribed to everyone who's involved with doxing and talking about each other's families and stuff like that. That being said, I noticed a lot of activity and I couldn't shake it. And unfortunately, and I say it unfortunately, I listened to all sides. All sides that I could find. I did not openly like go out and search. But if you look at some of the key players, you're gonna get somewhat of the true story. And then I stumbled upon the actual event itself before it was taken down. And for I'm gonna be spitting some truths. And well, it's all truth. And I hate that, oh, I'm not gonna speak my truth. No, I'm speaking the truth. There's a huge difference between your truth and the truth. But as I was watching that infamous video, I saw the Trump effect. And what the Trump effect is, when you are allowed to be emotionally reactionary and you do not believe that you should be held accountable. And that's not a dig, slight, jab, or anyone. It's just fact. How many times have you been recently in the last 6 days, 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, have you been outwardly and openly disrespected and that person did it because they thought they could? They invaded your personal space. My personal space is like 5 feet. Most people say give me 3 feet. I've got long arms, so I'm gonna tell you 5 feet. How many times have you been disrespected? How many times have you called in the customer service somewhere and you've been disrespected and you know full well they only doing it because they think they can get away with it? That's the Trump effect. I have a lot of emotion in my voice right now because, like I said, I'm listening to something and I was listening to something that really got to me. People do not understand. Maybe you do, but people do not understand love and loss. There is an elite group, and when I say elite group, I talk about the military. There is an elite group of people because not everybody's in the military. Not everybody. Somebody knows somebody in the military, but unless you have like a close family member or loved one in the military, you're not going to resonate with what I'm about to say. Because someone got in their feelings, and I will be respectful of his title. So, because President Trump got in his feelings, people are going to die. People who are honor bound to serve this nation are going to die. I'm emotional about this because not only will it affect my family, my immediate family, and I'm sorry, it's going to affect close friends. It is going to affect people that I love with all my heart. And people say silliest things. They say, well, they knew what they signed up for. You're absolutely right. I will not contest that. They knew that at any point they could be deployed. That's what it's called. When you are moved, transferred, assigned, stationed, all of the words that should let you know that I'm a military brat in every sense of the word. Not military rat, military brat. There is a B in front of that. Anywho, it means a lot to know that someone that you truly, truly love with all your heart can possibly not come home. It's devastating. It's devastating to know that they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice to say, I'm not going to go, because if they do, they lose everything that they've worked for in life. It goes away in a flash. And then they're put in Leavenworth. And again, if you are military, you know that I am speaking fact. You cannot have dereliction of duty. You cannot go AWOL. You will be put in Leavenworth. No pass go, no plead out. You're going to prison, not jail, prison. And Leavenworth is where you bust rocks. And anybody, it doesn't matter what branch you served in, it doesn't matter if you were a weekend warrior. And for people who don't know what weekend warriors are the Army National Guard, the people who do 4 weekends a month, or however many weekends a month, or however many weeks a year that they do. It's called weekend warriors. The people who have served know this very well. Feel free to fact check any of this. That being said, it is so important that we use this time to pray. Now, I am going to talk about I'm going to circle back and talk about the whole events of this week. Some people are going to take this as being an op. Some people are going to take this as throwing shade. Some people are going to take this as Munchausen syndrome. There's going to be so many people who take this for anything other than what it is, which is fact. And here are the facts. Fact is, people got caught slipping. And when I say got caught slipping, and that's putting it in street terms or whatever you want to call it, but the truth of the matter is this: we all have choices. There was a choice made. And we cannot, and here's another thing, we cannot tell somebody how to feel. We cannot tell somebody what they were thinking or what they weren't thinking. We cannot do that. But what we can do is stop with the narratives, stop with the, oh, well, if it was me, because if it was you, you probably, you could have done the same. Everybody could say what they would or would not have done. But here's the thing: unless you have been in that situation and yo gangsta, and when I say yo gangsta, not in that way, but your mentality has been tested, then you can't say what you would or would not have done. That being said, here's the thing, guys. For those who care about that person, this is not an opinion. This is fact. The most damaging thing that happened was they left the scene. That allowed the narrative to be created. The eye in the sky is the only thing that they're going to go by. The eye in the sky is independent surveillance. Now, I can tell you that roughly 90% of commercial establishments do not record audio. They record video, but they do not record audio. So, when law officers, authorities, whomever are making decisions, they are going by based off of what they can see and they interpret it from there on. So remove how you feel, remove what you were told. As a matter of fact, I'm going to encourage you to do this. Put it on mute. Watch it for what it was and what happened, and then go from there. Once you do that, you're going to understand why the pending, and here's the actual factual, guys. The pending charges, pending, not absolute, but pending. The pending charges are what they were. The pending charges were based off of looking at a perspective of a person was seen leaving. Another person was seen walking, running. I don't know. We did not see that. We are not watching the footage from the establishment. Another person walked behind that person, and according to both parties, so this isn't one party, this is both parties, struck the individual from behind. Then the person proceeded to say, I will you. That's the intent. I'm not saying that's what the person meant. I'm not saying that they didn't say it out of anger. I absolutely think they did. But what was said, and independent people heard this. The people who were told to call authorities, the people who said, I am going to call authorities, heard that statement. Those are facts. Those are things that cannot be denied. And that's why That one charge is there. Second charge. Again, independent statements, independent visual observation. The alleged victim says, hey, get off of me, get off of me. Then they say, please get this person off of me. I'm not saying, because again, we are not watching the footage. The true footage, which is from the establishment, that person says, please get this person. We do not know if the person voluntarily got up, the alleged assailant. We don't know that because we didn't see that. We don't know if they were removed. And that's the key. If you restrain someone, if someone says, get off of me, and you do not do it on your own, that's how that charge comes into a factor. So there's fact, and then there's feelings. There's fact, and then there's what you've been told. There's fact, and then there's narrative. I'm simply speaking on fact. Those are the facts. I'm not saying that that person is guilty of it because, as everybody has been stating, and I'll give you my own opinion on that portion, but as everyone is stating, we do not know if the circumstances that happened were not mitigating circumstances from something that was influenced. Meaning, we do not know if this was a setup. We don't know. And when I say you're right, there's going to be people, and you're absolutely right. I can't tell somebody, pop off. I can't tell somebody to go do this. But I can influence a situation in which I think they will do one thing or the other. And now this part is opinion, not fact. This is opinion. My opinion is it smelled like a setup, sounded like a setup. It looked like a setup. But honestly, they were trying to pull someone's card. In my opinion, this is opinion. I don't know none of those people. So this is just pure opinion right here. In my opinion, they sat up there and were like, hey, let's punk this person. I hate to use like street terms, but that's the truth. It looked like somebody was trying to punk somebody, like, oh, you ain't gonna do something when somebody walk up on you, which is even scarier because it could have escalated. As one of the individuals who was on the scene stated, it could have been far worse. I'm going to be honest, in the state that I reside in, we have an open carry law, which means I can have that on my person. That means you should run up on nobody in this state. I'm being real 100, real honest with you. You should not run up on nobody in this state because you could walk away with something real hot in you. And you will see it on their hip. You can go to Home Depot out here. You can, I'm sorry. You can go to Lowe's out here. You can go to KFC, Walmart, all of the places you love to frequent. And you will see somebody with that on their hip. So no, it could have been far worse. Now, here's another thing. This is just outsider looking in. I got no dog in this fight. As a matter of fact, even talking about it, it gives you some kind of feeling on it because you're like, wow, people gonna take it nope, I'm not trying to be counted. As a matter, I'm just trying to tell you from a perspective of once that person walked out, and someone can say, well, you don't know if that person was going out to get something. You're right. We don't. But there was better ways to it. You could have watched to see where that person was going. And that's true. Let's just be 100. And everybody says shoulda, coulda, woulda. Monday, what is the saying? Monday morning quarterback, whatever it is. Point is, it happened, but when the person left the scene of the incident, I'm not going to call it a crime, I'm going to call it an incident. When they left the scene of the incident, it got that worse. It got that bad. Now, this is I don't even want to say it's advice. Here's the reality. The reality is that person is going to need an advocate. That's what I'll call it. The person is going to need an advocate who knows a little bit about how to get the alleged or pending charges reduced. That's it. You can't say that it didn't happen because it's on your footage, it's on their footage. I hopped on, said something. Everybody in the world, in a free world, has got an opinion on this and played it over and over and over again. That being said, real talk is they're going to need someone. Don't tell them that they were in the right. Tell them what they need to do to get this as just a minor blip in history. That's it. People need to stop justifying people's feelings. And people need to get out of their feelings. And they need to do what's right on both sides. On both sides. Now, here's the great thing about this. If that person gets an advocate that is worth anything, that advocate is going to subpoena records. They're going to subpoena phone records. They're going to subpoena all of those videos. And those phone records include text messages. And please, please do not think that just because you sat up there and deleted something, that there's no evidence. No. It doesn't matter if you are with Boost, T-Mobile, Straight Talk, AT&T, Verizon, they keep that crap on a server. It does not matter. So, here's the great thing. If you really truly believe that this was a setup, it's going to come out. Because a subpoena, let me tell you something. I can tell you from personal experience. When you subpoena records from those phone companies, those telecommunication companies, period, point blank, they answer within 48 hours. It's nothing to them. Fun fact, they keep all that information on servers for up to 7 years. Federally mandated. Look up FOIA Act. O as in Oscar, I as in Igloo, Act. Freedom of Information Act. You could thank President Bush for that damn law. That's all I'm going to say on that. That being said, if it was a setup, it's going to come out. It sounds like one. It looked like one. Now, if it wasn't, and there is no evidence to prove it, I'm talking in emails, text, phone conversations that are logged between the two, DMs, none of that. Like, please keep it a buck, people. Facts are facts. If those facts are there, they're going to come out. We may never know about it depending on if the judge or magistrate determines people can talk about it or not. The public may never know, but those individuals that are involved with this, trust and believe they'll know. And trust and believe. If it was that, I can tell you right now, they're already trying to cover their tracks and it won't work. It won't work. Because now you have involved the law. And I know there is one person that's listening to this. And I'm speaking directly to that person right now. You and I had a phone conversation over a year ago. You asked me if you should do something involving the law. You know who you are. And I told you that when you do that, that's a forever thing. That's something that you can't get back from. That is something that you don't want to do unless you intend on doing it forever. Meaning that you are okay with never ever trying to repair that situation. I don't know if you ever, from the looks of it, it looks like you took my advice, but I don't know what you did behind the scenes. And that's all I'll say. That's not even based on friendship, that's based on respect. I will never ever utter who that was. Nobody knows. And they never will. But I ask you to repeat that to someone else. That's a forever thing. So if someone's trying to do this for clout, if someone's trying to do this to avenge, and it was a setup, oh boo, it's going to be nasty. That's all I'll say. It's not going to end well for anyone. Now, if it wasn't a setup, that's going to be nasty too, because there are certain things you just can't come back from. Your actions speak volumes. And that's all I'll say to it. So, even though you guys do not see people writing, and you're not going to see the chat anyway, because by the time this posts online, I will disable that. But I will leave this with this, because I have talked for almost 30 minutes and I still got a freaking podcast to do. It was put on my heart to come up this one time with this. And yeah, it was put on my heart. So I call it the Trump effect. People are being reckless on all sides. All sides are being reckless. So I am going to leave you with this. Do not get caught up, because people will be affected by your actions forever. It's a forever thing. So with that, guys, I'm going to say good luck. God bless. And I will check in probably within the next couple of weeks. Have a good one. Bye.